We're going to continue with the sharings. We're going to continue. First up, with the sharings. Florin Garzotto welcomes us back from liminality with a collaborative animation. First up, some months ago, I offered thoughts Florin Garzotto in an Instagram story welcomes us back about cruising, usually associated with ephemeral acts of sexual intimacy that take place in semi-cruising spaces. Usually, I wondered whether cruising could be extended of sexual intimacy. What might neuroqueer cruising look like? Feel like? Eye contact is a particularly intense form of mutual seeing, as two body minds stare inside each other. Eye contact, there is an intimacy present that sets the heart racing. As two body minds stare inside, and this resonated with Florin. Something beautiful in response. This is Pink Cheek.
I'm stemming to the music which brings a rhythm to my life. The slow bass reminds me to breathe. It's 9:14 p.m. It's 9:14 p.m. I'm wearing a small pink latex mush on my right cheek. You notice it from across the room. You glance wordlessly at me, your eyes darting down to the beauty spot. You point at yours with your finger. Then to the bathroom side. I walk out the room to the toilet, an inherently queer and autistic space. You follow. It's so masochistic to stare into your eyes. Way too intense. So sadistic to see your eyes burn. away. I look away. We go back to the base, a little more alive. Your eyes are still in mine, burning.
Thank you to Florin for finding something in my thoughts and creating something even more beautiful. Thank you to Florin for finding something in my thoughts. Is eye contact an intense, intimate experience for you too? Is eye contact an intense, intimate Next up, we have Saint-Saëns. I've loved conversing with Saint-Saëns. Every time we talk, I gain some insight, next up, some perspective, some new way of thinking about love and relationships. I've loved conversing with Saint-Saëns is a space creator and a doer, offering love, beauty, and connection to the universe. Some new way of thinking. Saint-Saëns is going to share some thoughts, some written words, Saint-Saëns is a space and a prompt. This is Saint-Saëns.
Okay, so I hope everybody can hear me. Hi. So I have an experience of love and a entropy of love that I find deeply interesting. And I think it's because I frequently dominant cultures and even like non-hegemonic cultures can often valorize love, and it can be seen as this site of purity, or it can be seen as a modality in which purity is actually achievable. Um, and I think when we think of love as a force, we have to ask ourselves, what does it mean to be a good force? And what do we expect of forces? And what does it mean to think about to think about love and to do love in a way that like destabilizes that Manichaean idea of setting it against evil or setting it against darkness or setting it against difficulty or setting it against hurt or setting it against violence. And I, when it comes to writing about love, especially in my poetry, I try to privilege those parts of the conversation that are somewhat uncomfortable, displeasing, mainly because of my own experience. And I find that the way I often give love and sometimes prefer to receive love is not often enjoyable or pure or easy or sweet. And I think when I think of love as a verb, it also brings me into thinking of love as a practice. And with all practices, there is a sort of an end goal. And I don't know what mine is with love, but I know what my practice feels like. And it's difficult and it's rigorous and it's unpleasant and it's lonely and it's aggressive and it's worrisome. And I think that for me, that's what my perspective on neuroqueering love is. Rejecting the sanitization of it, rejecting the streamlining of it, rejecting the prescription of it. And I think even the sometimes we can forget that ideals can turn into prescriptions. And so when I think about the way I experience love and the way I experience relation, I can't separate it from neuroqueering because I'm a romantic because I'm autistic and I don't understand why you should reserve affection for certain people but not others. And I'm polyamorous because I'm autistic and I don't understand why you can have multiple friends but not multiple intimate partners. And I'm transgender because I'm autistic because I don't understand why I am supposed to do one thing or another or anything at all. Like it's all very there is a in the way I live my life and in the way I see the world and in the way I understand myself as a being in process, there is a rigor there that I don't know that there is space that I found space for outside of the idea of neuroqueering or outside of like mad liberation spaces, um, or spaces that prioritize neurodivergence or like very, very, very left queer spaces. And I feel like neuroqueering as a framework opens up like the radicality in a queer space. Like if we're saying to ourselves that we can shift things and we can transmute desire into physical change in the world, then I think that starts from a process of being forthcoming about how much of it you don't get or how much of it you don't necessarily see yourself in. Yeah, that very long preamble is what this mood board is about. So for me, I wanted to. When Laurie told me there was a visual element, I was like, okay, so I want to kind of give a sensory sort of preamble to what the work is about. And for me, all of these are found image except the one in the bottom left corner that says, "What does it mean to align?" And it is the image of what we think of as man overlaid. And we often see this image when we think about the idea of a soulmate or somebody that will align with you perfectly. And the idea of alignment strikes me here because they're not lined up in such a way where they're one, they're lined up in such a way where they're close. And I think of the expansivity of love as what it means to play in that closeness, like not being one to one, not being flat, not having my palm next to your palm, but probably having our palms stacked in such a way where we see all 10 fingers. And I think that sometimes we can, um, this might sound, yeah, this is going to sound a little, but sometimes we can romanticize the idea of love. And I feel like it's so difficult and it's so displeasing and it's sad and it's pointy and it's sour and I don't always like it. And that's what this mood board is about. Like all of the parts of it that are displeasing, all of the parts of it that jar you, that arouse an unpleasant affect. And the poem that I'm about to read and that I'm pretty sure you're about to see as well is about a very literal approach to what it means to feel something for somebody. I have a hard time, which is odd because I'm a writer. I have a hard time expressing my feelings in ways that feel abstract or like in an emotion wheel sense. I have a hard time picking words that feel like they mean something to me resonantly. So I think about scenarios instead, or like things I have felt, things I haven't felt, and like physical experiences, embodied experiences. And I can, and I have in this piece that you're about to hear, made like a bit of a one to one equivalence with people in my life and the way others embodied experiences in the world would feel. And I would love to prompt you guys while you listen to this or after you listen to this to try that same exercise. Like, think about, I want you to equivocate a feeling that you feel in the natural world, something you can feel in your body, something that is momentous, something that is affective, something that is sensory. And I want you to use that lens or that formula or that line to map the feelings of people in your life, of love you felt, of spaces you felt love in. And I would love to hear you guys' offerings the to the method. Feel free to put them in the chat or feel free to do it in your own time. I would think that's cool regardless. So yeah, I'm going to read a poem. There is love like a feeling, and love like a choice, and love like a conclusion. There is love like a question, and love like a thought, and love like a realization in hindsight. There is love like winding river, jagged through mountain stone, rope bridge, taut over rushing, no gaps in between slats, a relished rocking, rugged hike, revered for rigor but nowhere habitable, the snap of key in closed door, everything lacks after. An imprint past bedding into mattress, cradle as a gift from force, sweat as a reward for clutched palm, laughter and its barreling, piss swift and tension sure, devout, intimate evil, space expectant at confession for the perverse, the natural forward of a swing, momentum from behind, clutching familiarity, breathing into mouth, tripping over tongues at introduction, movement, lockstep, left and right, soles brushing, lightning stricken soil, to meet there never again, bubble braid, held together, widening by design, mirrored smile, common secret yet shared, casual devotion, and ubiquitous alike, gravel, small and aggregate, crowding, drooling, warming, dizzy, sated itch, sharp, and again and again. So every one of these lines is a, I won't call it a description of how I feel to somebody in my life, but I would say this is, with complete sublimation, the way it feels to love these individual people in my life. And I, in the same way each singular line is about a person, I would love to invite you to think about love as something that is, that resists description but requests sublimation, that requires that you assert, that asks that you do away with what is acceptable or what makes sense or what feels good, and asks that you prioritize desire and what feels resonant if you want to. I mean, some people like the fact that love is enjoyable and nice. I think that sometimes enjoyable doesn't always mean nice. And sometimes the things that we seek and the things that we acquire through seeking are not always comfortable. And that sometimes when we're not seeking comfort, the best thing you can be is uncomfortable. And I think that as a neurodivergent person, I'm constantly uncomfortable. As a queer and trans person, I'm constantly uncomfortable. And then I have come to accept that there are familiar discomforts, there are romantic discomforts, there are intoxicating discomforts, there are desirous discomforts. And I'm interested in love as a desirous discomfort. It is a lot of work to care for somebody. It is a lot of vulnerability to open yourself up to being cared for. It is a lot of like abrasion against another person. And we all choose to do it anyway. And I think I'm most comfortable sitting with the idea that it's hard and I choose to do it anyway, as opposed to consenting to the sanitization that the dominant culture does of the process of loving. And yeah, like I said, this is a method I would like anybody interested in the process of neuroqueering to try for themselves, sublimation in a way that is completely effective, in a way that prioritizes sensory familiarity, a sensory alikeness. I'm really interested in the things we can't say, but that we don't have tools for outside of words. So I'm interested in the way that we can use words as tools that sort of prioritize finding similarity in the world in the same way it feels to love someone. Maybe that's how it feels to scream into a canyon. Maybe that's how it feels to get into a car crash. Maybe that's how it feels to go down a roller coaster. Maybe that's how it feels to lose your footing in a river. And all of these are exact, and all of these are approximate, and all of these are static, and all of these are moving. And I think in being all those things at once, and in being everywhere, and in being interpersonal and natural and sensory and spatial, that's what makes it love. And I think that Deliquescent Beings is kind of saying what I'm saying, in that it's love is all of these things at the same time, and love is all of these things in tandem, and love is all of these things separately, and love is all of these things iteratively. And I would hope that it continues to be all of these things. I never want a flat love or a comfortable love or a soft love for more than too long, you know? So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for seeing the work and sitting with it. That's all. I'm finished.
Thank you, Saint-Saëns, for so perceptively summarizing deliquescent beings as well. Next, we're gonna hear and see the sharing from Rrangwane. Rrangwane has a series of electrically beautiful collaged pieces in deliquescent beings. I met Rrangwane last year through Neuroqueering humans, and I'm forever grateful for making that connection. The central voice in this video piece is in Rrangwane's mother tongue, Sesotho, echoed in Rrangwane's father tongue, Setswana. The central voice. It's a reading from an ancient text in Rrangwane's mother tongue. This is Rrangwane.
Morena Jehova o ntse o le botshabelo jwa rona mo ditshikatshikeng o nnile wa ba botshabelo sa rona melokong le melokong wena o ntse o le dithaba di eso ho ka di hlaha ho ya bosakgeng o eso ho bope lefatshe le dintho tsohle eya ho tloha ho bo ho sa hlaheng ho isa ho bo ho sa feleng e sale o le Modimo o kgutlisetsa batho leroleng mme o re kgutlelang lona bana ba batho hobane dilemo tse sekete mahlong a hao di jwalo ka tsatsi la maobane ha le se le fetile le jwalo ka tebolo ya bosiu wa ba kgohola ba jwalo ka toro ho sasa ba mela jwalo ka jwang ho sasa bo apalesa bomele mantsi bo ahilwa bopone hobane re fediswa ke bohale ba hao re tshoswa ke kgalefo ya hao o beya makgopo a rona pela hao le dibe tsa rona tse patileng o di beya leseding la sefatlhego sa hao hobane metsatsi ya rona a ikela pele a bohale ba hao re fellwa ke dilemo tsa rona jwalo ka ha re fellwa ke kgopolo matsatsi a ho phela ha rona ke dilemo tse 70 ho ba matla ke tse 70 meno e le medi boikakaso ba tsona ke kgathatso le bomadimabe hobane bophelo ba rona bo fela ka pele boikela koo. Matla a bohale ba hao le botshabelo ba kgalefo ya hao ke mang ya di elang hloko? O re rute ho bala matsatsi a rona ka mokgwa o re ka fitlhelang pelo e hlalefileng ka wona. Kutla Jehova, o tla isa kae? O hauhele bahlanka ba hao. O re kgorise ka mohau wa hao e sa le ka meso re tle re nyakalle re thabe ka matsatsi ohle a rona. O re fe thabo e lekaneng le matsatsi ao o re hlomoditseng ka ona, le dilemo tse re boneng ditlokotsi ka tsona. Bonahatsa mosebetsi wa hao ho bahlanka ba hao le kganya ya hao ho bana ba bona. Mme mohau wa morena Jehova wa rona o be ho rona. Mosebetsi wa matsoho a rona o re o tiseletse. Eya, mosebetsi wa matsoho a rona o tiise.
Thank you, Rrangwane, for sharing this work. I wonder if anyone knows what the text was. Let's enjoy the music for a minute. Or two. Let's enjoy the music. Our final sharing of love comes from Oscar Vinter. Oscar creates images and sounds that do something powerful to my body. They are beauty and love. Oscar is going to read to us and then present a video. This is Oscar.
Thank you, Laurie, and I'm feeling so blessed to be here with everyone here on this special night. I'm going to read a poem called When I Come. When I come, I think of your face flush, and I feel the coldness of the empty bed. I want this feeling to be undone. When I come, I turn in heavy light, and all those words spin off backwards, so I can never say them again. The tongue becomes air. When I come, spiders spin down from lower heaven, bringing the veil, the gossamer of love over my face. We're not dead yet, but be still. When I come, curls fall between her legs, and she says that I should follow too, to where the gold settles forever. When I come, I think of her open mouth, the quickest route to the heart, and I am the naked eye after the air hits. When I come, I am a child again, retreating beyond the womb until I meet myself here, in the void, still lost, my head swimming with static. The stars are yellow and close. When I come, I go back to the beginning to find the first color, the one without name. Here I will wait for you. When I come, the walls turn to mirror glass and the body heaves forward. But why does the soul remain? This conspiracy is eternal. When I come, black smoke burns in heaven, and my lungs sing, not breathe. I am no longer afraid. I am no longer weak. When I come, the broken, the unknowable, the kind, crowd round the darkness of my bed. Burn the mask, they say. When I come, all the people I have wished dead are just words, unmoving and heavy. But that is all they are, sad autumns in my mouth. I am sorry for this. When I come, we become everything death hates. Saliva dances in the bazaar of your mouth. Warm skin, curl up your golden tongue. When I come, I am the witch in heaven, mothering the vortex. You call me down, down, down. When I come, their face is sad in the dull moonlight. The stars are either going or gone. File this moment under sorrow. If only I could forget these things and think of the trees. When I come, I'm walking the 5 miles to your house through the slush of snow to tell you your lover is dead. Where the flowers grow, will they think of him? Will they think of me? When I come, I stand in the spot where desire should be, but never was, and I think of you, and the whole world is on fire.
Oscar. And thank you to all the artists who shared their work and themselves this evening, and Indeliquescent being tonight from Rrangwane, Anime Buckingham, Georgia Holman, Florin Garzotto, Saint-Saëns, Rrangwane, Oscar Vinter, and Quieting. The book, Deliquescent Beings, from Neuroqueering.network. I'm very grateful to everyone who came this evening to share in this experience. I think my computer is about to catch on fire. And my heart is already I love you all. I will share information about the artists you will see this evening. I'm going to end with "It's together." Quote. Really, it is held together by the love and the passion of a very few people. Is held together. Otherwise, really, of course, it is held together. You can despair. Walk down the street of any city, any afternoon, and look around you. What you've got to remember is what you're looking at is also you. You can despair. Everyone you're looking at is also you. You could be that person. You could be that monster. You could be that cop. And you have to decide in yourself not to be. James Baldwin. This is about deciding to love. Thank you.